Alright, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, before I begin this video, I to give all praises, all glory, and all honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kudash. Give double honors unto the elders and apostles of great men soon, from Elder Apostle Tahakam all the way down. And shalom to the 144,000 chosen men. And shalom to the elect men, women, and children. Be surely shown grace in these trying times. This video I come out here to do is to bring a bit of edification out on the whole Serpent, Cain and Esau topic, because the other questions we ask about who the serpent is, or is he who play with this whole scene, and I come to bring out a little edification, a little bit of clarity on that, right? Is because using reincarnation, because reincarnation is biblical, because stated plainly many instances in the Bible, at other times you had to make the linkage with the whole Cain, Serpent and Esau situation. You have to make the linkage. But stated many times in the Bible that reincarnation is biblical and it is a fact, it is a truth. Today I come to, almost so this evening, I come to prove that it is without a shadow of a doubt that the serpent is Cain, and Cain is Esau. Right? I'll be linking each of them, so I'll link the serpent with Cain, the serpent with Esau, and Esau with Cain, right? Today the linkage with the serpent and Cain, right, is Genesis 3 and 15. It's from 13. Alright. Just get the word guile real quick. Okay. In Genesis 3 and 15, right? And the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai said unto the woman, what is this that thou hast done? The woman said, the serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. Now, when you go into this, it's referring to the strange philosophies of the other nations. The Lord tell Adam and Eve to stay away from all them wicked philosophies of the other nations and follow him, and they did that not. Right? The Lord Yahweh power said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. There's the point here. And we put enmity between thee and the woman, between thy seed and her seed, and shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. And we go back to then you go to that word enmity. Is H 342 Abadia Abadiaha Abadia, if I'm saying that correct. So like Ayabad. Sorry, Abaya, which is BDB definition 1, enmity or hatred. Strong's is hostility, and we're going to the root word. It says to be hostile, 2 to be an enemy, 2. So her seed, well, the woman in this instance will represent Israel, because women don't give forth seed, or don't, we say produce seed. They don't produce seed, only man that produce seed. So we know the woman would symbolically be representing Israel, and the serpent seed would symbolically be representing the nation that would be Israel's main enemy. This instance here was the serpent, and that hatred would have eventually came back or reincarnated through the lineage of Cain. And you can prove this now. There's Push John. Talk here. There's 1 John chapter 4 and verse 10, if I'm not mistaken. So I can know. 1 John 3 and verse 10. Yeah, 1 John 3 and 10. And this the children of power are manifest, and the children of the devil. Whosoever doeth not righteousness is not of power, neither he that loveth not his brother. For this is a message that he heard from the beginning, that we should love one another, not as Cain, who was of that wicked one, and slew his brother. And wherefore slew he him? Because his own works are evil, and his brothers were righteous. Why he do him that? Because the ancient hatred that the serpent had for her seed or her lineage would have reincarnated into the, or that spirit would have reincarnated into the body of Cain. Now, when all of this would have happened, we're not clear about that. In time, in the process of time, in the kingdom established, we will realize or get the full story on how long all of this take place. Because all of this take place in a period of time. The scriptures, when it say in the beginning, God created man on this day, and this was created on that day, it wasn't literally a day. The eyes of the Lord. Let me get that real quick. First Peter. Second Peter, I believe it is Second Peter 3 and 8. Yeah, Second Peter 3 and 8. My apologies. Second Peter 3 and 8. But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day. So all of this will take place over a period of time. So eventually, after whatever happened to the serpent, most likely will have died out. His spirit will have reincarnated into Cain. And how we could prove this? How should I tell you it plainly? But plain to those who could see. It's John 7, I think it's from 40. No, it's John 7, right? Oh, it's John 8. It's John 8. Yes, it is John 8. John 8, I read from I'd read from 42. Yeah, which I said unto them, and the easy thing was really linked the serpent to being Cain. John 8 and 42. Yeah, which I said unto them, if Yahweh were your father, you would love me, for I proceeded forth and came from Yahweh. And I came out of myself, but he sent me. Why do you not understand my speech, even because ye cannot hear my word? Verse 44, ye of your father the devil, the deceiver. Then when you go back into the word, this damn devil, like going to Diablo, so just means deceiver or ungodly person. And the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speak a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. He was a murderer from the beginning. The murderer from the beginning was Cain, but there is where Yahushua say here will make a link Cain towards being the serpent, and abode not in the truth. That is true, because when Cain killed his brother, first thing he do was lie. But there is where he say, because there is no truth in him, when he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. Cain is not the father of lies, because when you go back to the beginning, the first person that lied was the serpent. So how Cain could be the father of lies? We know he's the father of murder because he's the first person that did this. Or how we go say it, but I might do the breakdown on Genesis, and when you say Salakia, when Bokwama do the breakdown on Genesis, and he was going through Genesis in 4th chapter, and he said this man was the father of this, or that man was the father of that. It didn't mean like you will be the first person to do it, or it'd be like you will be the one that popularized it. But the thing is, in the scriptures, the first person that did do this is the serpent. So how the Lord could come and say now Cain is the father of lies? The father of lies is the serpent. I just want to go into that word father, because when you go into that word father, that means originator of, if I'm not mistaken, or teacher of. Let me see, father. Let's see. Yes, there is father in the Greek G3962 Pater, if I saying that correct, if not Salakia. But Peter, it says what? Two, metaphorically, the originator and transmitter of anything. So what the originator lies is the serpent. Cain following his steed, that why it say in 1 John We get real quick version 3 and 12. It's saying that as Cain was of that wicked one. Not meaning like the serpent actually come through. So you know, meaning like Cain come through the serpent loins and lineage, but he continued in the steed of the serpent, because we know Adam is the one who made Cain, and Adam ain't wicked. Adam not wicked. He fall off. He had to fall. That was a part of the plan, but Adam not wicked. So we could say Cain of that wicked one, and he directly come from Adam. That ain't making sense. I mean, he followed in the steed of the serpent, because he was supposed to do that which was righteous, and he did not. He did that which was wicked. So I linking the serpent to being king, because the reason he do the serpent was doing it because he is the serpent. He is the serpent. Now linking the serpent now to Esau, right? Now Genesis 3 and 1. Now the serpent was, so I can't get on the KJV, my apologies. Genesis 3 and 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord power had made. And he said unto the woman, yea, had power said, he shall not eat of every tree of the garden. Now when you go into that word subtle, Salak, yes. We're going to that word subtle is Arawam. No, Salak, yeah. Araham, if I'm not mistaken. Or Aram. Aharam. Yeah, Aharam, which means is BDB definition. One, subtle, shrewd, crafty, sly, sensible. When you go down to Strong's definition, passive participle of H6191, cunning in a bad sense, usually in a bad sense. Who he was known to be cunning. There Genesis 25 and 27, because this was a definition that was used specifically on one man. I read from 26, and after that came out his brother, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare him, and the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. So what? The same things used to describe the serpent was used to describe Esau. Why? Because it's one and the same. It's the same spirit. The serpent wanted to go against that which was right in the eyes of the father, and so did Esau, because Esau is a profane man. Let me get that really quick. It's Hebrews 12 and 16. Let's say be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. Now we're going to the word profane, that does mean ungodly. Ungodly. 12 and 16. Profane person. Yeah, that is Bebelos. G952 Bebelos, which means which is their definition 2, profane, unhallowed, common, public place, or be of men ungodly. So when you say Esau was a profane person, he was an ungodly person, why you gonna say that? Because he wasn't doing that which was right in the eyes of the father. Just as the serpent was. Even when you go to Revelation, right? Get Revelation 12 and from 7 by Salakia. Revelation 12 and read from verse. Yeah, there's Revelation 12 and 9. And a great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceived the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Verse 10 is the point to make me know he's not talking about no friggin' actual snake, no big dragon, Satan himself, right? And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength, and the kingdom of our power, and the power of his anointed. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power day and night. And we know this would have to be referring to Esau Edom, because the scripture say it in second Ezra. Matter of fact, I'll pull it up on the screen, but I'll read it from the New English Bible. Come back real quick. Second Ezra 6 and from 7 in the New English Bible, because when you read it from second Ezra, say, this can't be referring to no friggin' dragon or anything like that, or Satan himself, because it have a specific prophecy that was stated that will make us know that it's for a fact that Esau Edom is the one in charge and nobody else. Yes, it's second Ezra 6 and 7 in the New English Bible. Tell me, I went on about the interval that divides the ages, right? When will the first age end and the next age begin? He said the interval will be will be no bigger than between Abraham and Abraham for Jacob, and Esau were his descendants. And Jacob's hand was grasping Esau's heel at the moment of their birth. Esau represents the end of the first age, and Jacob the beginning of the next age. So if we know Yahushai looking to set up the kingdom of David, and David ruling the kingdom of Jacob, because when David was running things, he was ruling over Israel. The 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, and we know the 12 tribes come from the patriarch Jacob. So if Yahushua ruling that kingdom, and it's David's kingdom, he ruling, because the scripture say that plainly, and the scripture say, the Lord going to give you a governor that shall rule his people Israel. Obviously, it's Esau Edom ruling. So when that dragon get thrown down, is Esau getting thrown down. I bring our next scripture in Revelation to prove that. Verse 10 is the point. The beginning of a man is his hand, and the end of a man is his heel. Between the heel and the hand, Ezra, do not look for any interval. Meaning what? From the hand of a man to the heel of a man, it have intervals, right? But, or it have things between that. But what that mean is this: when Esau get thrown down, and nobody ruling after Esau, and then Jacob take charge. As soon as Esau get thrown down, that is the end day, and Jacob will rule after forevermore. So we know for a fact that none coming in between this. No spiritual entity coming to rule. No friggin' Buddha or Lakshmi or Shiva or Russia taking over, China taking over, or friggin' Japan taking over, anybody else. When Esau fall, as soon as Esau fall, the kingdom of Jacob will be established. And I bring our next point to prove that this war had take place in heaven. So no friggin' spiritual war with Michael coming to fight Satan and all that is bullshit. Michael is coming to fight Satan, yes, because the scripture say it in Daniel 12 and 1. At that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which shall stand for the children of thy people. There shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. At that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the books. So you know Michael coming to fight, but he ain't fighting Satan, because he and Satan is brothers. They've been fighting each other. I bullshit. Revelation 19 and 19. I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. Michael's the head of Yahushai army. The whole host of angels, Michael's the head of them, and Yahushai is his head. So like, if the Lord coming with his army to fight against their army, what's Satan? Can you see him battle talking about no? What's Satan? Bullshit. And the beast was taken with him, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast and them that worship his image. These both were cast alive into the lake of fire burning with brimstone. A spirit can't burn. A spirit is light and light is fire. How fire gonna burn fire? Makes sense, man. Makes sense. So spiritually we know we tie the serpent to Cain and we tie the serpent to Esau. Now we have to tie Cain to being Esau because it has more ties here with the serpent to Esau, because the scripture called Esau the piercing Leviathan. I think is what it is. When you enter Leviathan, that is a sea serpent. Just a sea snake or a sea serpent. A serpent is what? That's somebody that cried and shrewd and crafty. What Esau looking to do? The piercing serpent, and the man looking to do the same thing, which is what? Pierce the whole earth with his mark. So like, it's the same person. It's the same person, the same agenda they always wanted. They always wanted full control over the Lord's people. Yeah, me get that. Wisdom of Solomon, I'm going to get that too. Wisdom of Solomon 2, I read from yes, Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 23. For power created man to be immortal, meaning his chosen line from Adam, he created them to be immortal. From Adam, come all the way down to Seth, to Enos, and so on and so forth. He created them to be immortal and made him to be an image of his own eternity. Nevertheless, through the envy of the devil, came death into the world, and they that do hold of his side do find it. So the serpent didn't like the fact that Adam was going to be immortal and rule over him, so he come and deceive Eve and bring Adam down to the estate Adam in today. The same thing Esau do. Jacob was going to be immortal, and Jacob said Esau didn't like that, so he bring Jacob down to the estate Jacob in today. Why? Because he hated him the same way the serpent hated Adam. Now we're going to that next thing to our next piece I forget to add to. Because as tight and beautifully to proving that the serpent is a man. I read from 50. I read from 1 Psalm 58 and 1. Do ye indeed speak righteousness, O ye congregation? Do ye judge uprightly, O ye sons of men? Yea, in heart ye work wickedness. Ye weigh the violence of your hands in the earth. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Their poison is the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth at the ear, which will not hearken unto the voice of charmers, charming never so wisely. But what? Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. The same thing what happened in Genesis 3 and 1. The poison was the poison of a serpent. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Lord power made. And he said unto the woman, yea, had power said, ye shall not eat of the every tree of the garden. What? We went into that word poison. I never went into that word poison. Let me see what that would mean. Oh, you know the wicked in the scriptures is Esau, but why liking it onto a serpent to show you that correlation. Let me see that poison. Let's see. See, heat rage had a special indignation, anger, rat poison, bottles. You don't really get nothing. See, bottles. You don't really get. Actually, it did, because, hold on. You don't really get nothing, but point is, the Lord liken the poison of the Edomites and to being that of the poison of a serpent. Why? To show you the correlation between the Edomites and the serpent. To let you know that, hey, these two people or lineages is the same thing. They have the same spirit about them, right? Now, and link Cain and Esau, right? I read it earlier in 1 John 3 and 12. Cain didn't love his brother. There's the same case with Esau. In Genesis 27, I read 42. I read 40. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And came to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And verse 41, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing with his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father at hand, then will I slay my brother Jacob. So what? The same thing what Cain do to Abel, he was intending to do to Jacob. Salakia. The same thing Cain do to Abel, Esau was intending to do to Jacob. The only reason it stopped, or the reason the Lord didn't allow that, is because he wanted the righteousness to continue through the earth. He wanted the righteous seed to continue. But what the point here is, what Esau hated Jacob. And you can say, well, the other nations don't like we. Yeah, them don't like we. We know them don't like we, but to the point Esau don't like we. Nobody on that level. The only person that's on that level and Cain hated Abel. And why? Because Abel works as righteous and he was wicked. It's the same spirit, man. It's the same spirit. Let's see. Let me get some. Let's say Genesis 4:2. Yeah, Genesis 4:2. And she again bare his brother Abel. And Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. So he like to get down and dirty in the earth, right? There is Genesis 25 and 27. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field. And Jacob was a plain man to an intent. The same spirit. Esau like to fucking roll through the grass and do this and do that. Well, what? Cain like to roll through the grass and plant and do this and do that. But what? Esau like to fucking go through the grass and move through all kind of terrain and all kind of thing. Why? Because they the same spirit. They friggin' like to get as close to the earth as possible. What the Lord cursed them from the earth. That next thing too. Actually, that'll be a point for our next video I'm planning to do. Yes, it's 4 and 22. Because even the descendants is the same. Watch this. It says 4 and 22. And Zillah, she also bare Tubal Cain, an instructor of every artificer in brass and iron. And the sister of Tubal Cain was Naamah. When you go to Isaiah 54 and 16, as it say, behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, and I have created the waste that they destroy. When you check it back, you see that what most likely Tubal Cain would have be the reincarnation. Timon would be the reincarnation of Tubal Cain, because Timon is the scientist in these days. Back in the day, if a scientist was doing anything, you would be like, what? Already blowing the coals in the fire, but he would have been, how you say, dealing with the alloys of the earth. Back in the day, that is the furthest a scientist can get. But now the Lord gave them the wisdom to the point where they could split the atom and really, really fuck shit up. And the last thing I add to this whole proving that Cain and Esau is the same, like Genesis 4:15. The Lord said unto him, therefore whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken upon him sevenfold. The Lord set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him should kill him. Now this will be a topic for our next video, but I wanted to add this state in Genesis 25 and 25. And the first came out red all over like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. After that came his brother Salakia, not this. Genesis 27, my apologies. Hold on, Jacob, I'm doing a video there. Right, Genesis 27 to the 8. And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and the dew of heaven from above. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. But by thy sword shalt thou live. That's why the scripture say, anybody Anybody that killed Cain, vengeance shall be taken upon him. Because anytime you touch any descendant of Cain, it's fuck you again, fuck up. Anytime you touch any descendant of Esau, it's fuck you again, fuck up. It's the smallest of things sooner. Esau come in your land, ask you for some money. If you tell he no, what? Beat the ever living shit out of you. Nuke your land, send your army for your land, shoot up your people. He go do the worst to you just because you tell he no. Now, if you put your hands on him, if you mash his shoe, he fuck you up. If you actually kill one, you see it too. Even back in the days in slavery, anytime any so-called thing happen to any black man, like any so-called Negro do anything to any so-called white person, the whole community used to come out and lynch him, man. The whole fucking community used to come out and fuck this one man up because he do one person something. Cause I the spirit, I the same fucking spirit. And to prove it, let me rename, not Tubal came, my apologies. Lamech test it out. The Genesis 4:23, and Lamech said unto his wives, and Zillah, hear my voice, ye wives of Lamech, hearken unto my speech. For I have slain a man to my wounding, and a young man to my hurt. If Cain shall be avenged sevenfold, truly Lamech 70 and sevenfold. We read that in GNT. They say yeah, a bit more understanding. Genesis 4:22. Lamech said to his wives, Ada and Zillah, listen to me. I've killed a young man because he struck me. If 7 lives are taken to pay for killing Cain, 77 will be taken if anyone kills me. So what? Most likely that man didn't do anything much, eh? Not saying he did, not saying he didn't. But most likely would that be what? Something that wasn't worthy of being killed for, and yet so what? He still killed the man because that is their spirit. That's what Esau does fucking do. And you can prove this further down in our next lesson. I'm planning to do proof in that war. Esau Edom is the white man. Until then, it is his Shalom. Praise his glory and honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Ruach double honors unto the elders and apostles of great men soon, from the apostle to Hakam all the way down. Shalom to the 144,000 children men, and shalom to the elect men, women, and children. Will be surely shown grace in these trying times. Shalom.